You're listening to Scribble Talk, a podcast for bid and proposal professionals. My name is Bhaskar Sundaram, and with my co-host Ashley Case, we'll be sitting down with our industry veterans to share their stories, discuss their career, and learn how to make an impact in the industry. Today's guest is Wouter Van Tienhoven. Wouter is owner of Tender Expert and has over 25 plus years of experience in the business proposal world. Previously, he was also a teacher. So he runs Tender Expert. He is also chairman of the Association of Proposal Management Professionals for the Netherlands chapter, and he's also treasurer for the Foundation of Ombudsman Public Contracting, where he tried to build consensus between the buyers and suppliers. Previously, Wouter also spent 20 plus years in the industry, working for Facilicom, also took varied roles in Yacht, the Randstad company, and also previously with Deloitte, Netherlands. Wouter is fluent or with proficiency in Dutch, English, and French. And most importantly, Wouter has end-to-end bid and proposal team management experience, both in the public and private markets. Let's talk more about Wouter. Wouter, welcome to Scribble Talk.
Thank you very much. Very nice that you invited me to join your Scribble Talk. I've listened to a couple of them, and I'm very honored that I was invited to join the selection of good people in the industry. Thank you very much.
Well, it's my absolute pleasure, Wouter. Absolute. So let's go back to the very beginning, Wouter. Where were you born? And let's talk about your early life education.
I was born in Rotterdam, in the Netherlands. Rotterdam, a typical city with hardworking people, a harbor, and a lovely place to grow up when you're a child. There was always something happening: ships coming in and coming out, going out. It was a lovely, simple life. We lived in a part of Rotterdam that is small, a little village kind. Environment, and it was safe and it was great to grow up. And I with a family with one elderly brother and one younger sister, and well, my mother was what we call nowadays just doing housekeeping, but she was the key for our family, and she was the real leader in our family. My father was working also in the harbor with a company that was exporting and importing goods from the Netherlands to South America. So I had a very pleasant youth. It was always nice and warm. Although it was sometimes, you may know that Rotterdam was heavily struck by the Second World War, and there were still rebuilding all parts of Rotterdam. And also that are very good places to play as a child. Hide and seek. I enjoyed my life very much as a young kid.
I think Netherlands has this beautiful culture as well, right? Isn't it? What I mean, like, we all have a good upbringing. But every time when I travel to Netherlands in general, I mean, like, you see more bicycles, people go, for long trips, and it's something unique about it. Can you touch some related uniqueness about family, children, upbringing in Netherlands? So because it might be interesting.
The cycling is I recognize the cycling as a part of being mobile in those years. It was a time, and I'm 63, so it's quite a couple of years ago. But we had a cattle market in the city, and all kind of cattle was coming into the city and was sold and bought. And of course, my parents didn't like me to go to the animals, the cows, the sheep, but it was a festivity for a boy living in the city. It was great to wander around seeking all those animals. I didn't know at that time that the animals end in the slaughterhouse, but nevertheless, it was a pleasant time to wandering around and see it. There's also in Rotterdam has a lake, a small lake, and that's also a very pleasant place in the summertime for swimming, for walking, and many when my parents had a day off in the weekend, we went to the lake, the Plus, and we had a jolly good time. So it was sometimes I think I wish my youth, the time I had as in my youth would extend much more longer. No sorrows, or only enjoying a beautiful city. I'm very proud of my city.
Totally, Walter. I mean, like it's a beautiful 100%. So early childhood with family and schools, colleges, did you went along in the same area?
Yeah, in the same area. I went to school, and I joined a very good school. My parents were very much aware of how important it was to get a good education. So all three of us had a good education. We were sent to a rather small school, about max 1,000 pupils, I think. I'm not quite sure how large it was. And I had fantastic teachers. I do remember my English teacher, my history teacher. They inspired me to learn and to enjoy the knowledge of all kinds of things. I'm still very much interested in history. And my English teacher was, his name was Mr. Zeldenrust, and he was so eloquent. He spoke English, German, Welsh, Gaelic, Sanskrit, and always he tried to give us the different words for, by example, boo, what it was in Gaelic, what it was in Welsh, what it was in German. And so he tried us to educate that all languages had common ground. And I enjoyed the way he teaches. And also my history teacher, he was also very good in enthusiastic sharing his knowledge of history and the necessity to know your history, because you are your history. And from all you have learned from history, you go forward and you make new decisions, but always based on the past. So I have a very good education, and I still know that my general level of education was high when I entered university. And university was a bit different. The Erasmus University in Rotterdam was at that time very fast growing. I had the freshmen were 1,000 men in the first year, 1,000 students, and I felt a bit lost. I wasn't ready for this kind of numerous students, and I felt a bit lost. I didn't enjoy myself that very much, and I switched to becoming a teacher, and especially economics. And that was much better for me. It was more closer to my heart. So that was my education, and also Rotterdam is a fantastic city to study. So I would like to invite any student to come to the Netherlands and study here. And the University of Rotterdam, Erasmus, is a very high standard.
Totally. I think it's not just the university, it's the overall the country and what the country teaches you. I mean, like, it's fascinating. I mean, like, especially your history teacher, you're talking about like 45, 50 years from now, from the past. It's fine, because that's something which I'm fascinated with. It's like, what could be the very first language people spoke, and what's the commonality between different languages?
Yes.
Recently, I completed Egyptian hieroglyphics, so I learned to read how that works. It's just for the curiosity. They did it there, and what could be the language and how it connects to my mother tongue and stuff. But amazing. So you finished your university economics, which is your favorite subject, and what happened next, Walter?
Well, when I finished my education, my first job was a teaching job, economics and bookkeeping at a high school, and I loved every minute of it. It was so close to my heart. Sharing knowledge, trying to be as good a teacher as I had myself. And I don't know if I succeed, but it was so rewarding to help young people, not only with economics or bookkeeping, but also with the questions of life. What do you want to do? And recently, my youngest son came home. He has spoken with the father of a friend of him, and he's one of my first pupils. And his father has told my son that he learned a lot from me, and not especially economics, but bookkeeping, but also to make your own choices, to learn to think quick on your feet and be responsible for your own choices. I'm not quite aware that I taught him that, but I think it might have been, because I think it is necessary to help young people to form their own mind, ask questions again, until you have the answers you are satisfied with. So I enjoyed my job, my first job as a teacher, very much. And the only way why I quit the job at a certain time is because I wanted to enlarge my horizons. I want to change of scenery. I want to learn new things. I want to learn new capabilities. That's the reason why I quit being a teacher. But the strange is that most of the time I'm still a bit of a teacher. if I do a presentation, or if I'm working on a strategic session with clients for a bit, I think, no, I know that I'm a teacher, and it will never leave me. It will never leave me.
Because 15 years is a long time, Walter, to be a teacher. And then, obviously, any interesting memories being a teacher of economics and also accounting as well? Any fond memories that you can look upon now and think, oh, that's something?
Oh, yes. I know that, but with a couple of kids, I've made the difference for them. I have succeeded in telling them not to stop with school or to quit, but to go on and seek education. And a couple of kids I know I've helped in their way, in their struggle to find the future, because sometimes it wasn't common for their families and in their situation to go to school and to have an education. And start at university. So I think that for a couple of kids, I really make the difference. And also, I had a lot of fun with them. We have great laughs with them. So it was for me a period of good colleagues, great time with the kids in the classroom. Well, yeah, I enjoyed every minute of it. Yeah, 12 whole years around, and it was fun. It was fun.
So after 12 to 15 years, you left teaching and you joined the industry, and you stayed with Randstad for a long time as well, taking varied roles.
During my time as a teacher, I started my own company. And it was a company that was it was self-employed, and it was aimed at IT, and especially Novell Netware. Started with 3.12, later 4. The first object-oriented software I encountered. It was very difficult to understand because I hadn't any experience with it. So I started my own firm, my company, and as a self-employed, I worked with companies in the industry for Netware. And then I tried to make the switch from teaching to IT. And after several interviews, Randstad was the only company, or was a company that asked me to become a sales manager, because of account manager, because they thought I was able to find clients, talk with them, and on basic of my knowledge of IT, to help them to solve their IT problems, especially in resources. And the first time they said to me, "We want to have you as an account manager, as sales," and I said, "Well, I'm not someone who can sell refrigerators to people on the North Pole. I'm not able to do that." "Yes, we think you can. Yes, we want you to do business to business, small companies trying to help them with their IT issues." "Okay, I will try it for now for a half a year. Why not?" So I started as sales, and after a couple of months, they asked me to join the public sector, because there was, well, they said, "You're a bit older, you're almost 40, and we think that you have more patience to work with the government than the youngers. So would you like to switch from business to the public sector?" And I didn't quite want it, because I thought it was a bit of boring public sector. But on the other hand, I had a really smashing time with the Minister of the Justice and the Ministry of Defense. Very interesting clients to work for and with, because they are very sophisticated without knowing. Civil servants have a bit of a dull image. But that's quite unnecessary. They are the same people as you and I, and they are also willing every day, starting to come to their office to be successful, to do good things, and that is what you have in common. You want all people I have encountered after all these years. I know that all people want to be successful. Come to the office to do something good for themselves, for their boss, for their company, for the society. All people want something to achieve. And that's how I entered the proposal world, because when you're working with the Ministry of Justice and also with Ministry of Defense, public procurement is coming inside in reach. And you have to write large bid and proposals. So that's how it started, from sales to bid and proposal management. Because without bid or proposal management, you won't have any contract with a public company. No, with the in the public sector. So that's how I started in the industry, and rather quickly I stumbled on APMP. Was not that large in the Netherlands, but there were two people, and I'm quite sure you know them, Bakker. Is Janneke Oriëns and Richard Buys. Yeah. They are the founders for the APMP in the Netherlands. They are both from Strategic Proposals in the Netherlands, and there are two people I own a lot. They were driven by their love and the passion for proposal and bid management. And I learned a lot from them.
So I think what a fascinating entry, Walter. I mean, like, many people come from different routes. In your case, as you rightly said, teacher to being a self-employed entrepreneur to industry, but in between you were able to get to the public sector, civil servants, etc. I'm fascinated with the same theme. We run another podcast called Bachi Talk, and that's the same message we try to look. Let's not talk about the procurement versus the people here. In the end of the day, they all are people. They all are trying to do their best. Let's find a commonality, and then let's find how we can collectively together help improve. And I'm fascinated that you are trying to do the same. So APMP, you kind of entered the industry through Anaka and others who actually we also featured in the Scribble Talk. So talk us through, you've been the chairman of APMP Netherlands, and any initiatives during COVID, before COVID, that you would like to share to the listeners?
Oh yes, I do like to remember a couple of things. When I became chairman, Henny Huisman was my predecessor, and he asked me to join APMP as a board member. And well, it's about 5 years ago. I'm 5 years ago now. But we have a 15th anniversary in the Netherlands 2 years ago, and it was quite a happening. We had an awards dinner, and we also had an event on the whole day with all kinds of venue, with all kinds of speakers, quite interesting objects. But it was quite an adventure to find sponsors, to sell tickets, because we are not that very much of a large chapter. We're about around 150 and now around 200 members. And the Dutch language is not that large area for new members. I think that there will be probably in the Netherlands about, well, what will be 1,000, 1,500 people who are one way or another engaged with bid and proposal management. So it was quite a journey to prepare and have this venue for the almost 2 days, and it was a very big success. It was a very big success. I'm very much obliged to my fellow board members who also chipped in all their time and efforts to make it a success. Because yeah, we are volunteers, so we all have a job or a business beneath of next to our APMP board membership. So it was quite experience, and also Rick Harris joined us for the anniversary. It was very it was great. It was a great success, and we enjoyed it very much. Yeah. At the other hand is that what happened, and do good remember it. It was 6 or 7 March 2019, if I'm not mistaken. No, 2020. 6 or 7 March, it was the European BPC in Amsterdam, and the next week after the BPC, and even during the BPC, there were talks that we might have to close down the BPC because of COVID. And the next week, the Netherlands went in lockdown. So we just get away with the nick in time of time with the BPC Europe. And as I know, and I asked Rick about it, there are no, anyone has been contaminated with COVID after that BPC. So that felt we were quite happy that it was all successful and nobody's health was endangered. But it was in the nick of time. It was just at the moment that COVID was spreading quickly and largely in the Netherlands. And there were companies that did not allow their staff to join the BPC because of COVID, and some were allowed to fly in or join the meetings. So well, that's quite exciting. Yep. And I do remember that we had an excellent dinner with Rick and with Peter Frank. And with Jan Kees Schakel, my fellow board member, at the last evening of the BPC, and we were all very happy and glad that we succeeded without any troubles, any problems. Yeah, and then COVID hit the Netherlands. Well, everything started to close down, and I rather have to my dismay, I have to admit that COVID is killing for the members and the memberships of APMP. Not meeting in person, not meeting in person your colleagues, your friends, talk with each other, have a few laughs, have a few drinks, and share your knowledge, your lessons learned in a pleasant setting. So it's not nice. It's terrible after 2 years of COVID, and we have not been able to have quarterly meetings, just only online with Zoom or with Teams. It's to my opinion, it's not good for the Dutch chapter. No, people are missing the physical contact and then seeing each other and talk to each other. We have a couple of initiatives that we are very happy with. We have observed our membership base, and we saw that lots of people are foundation members. And since this year, we have volunteers from the members, and ask them to stage a couple of evenings for practitioners. So we have about 4 evenings for people who want to upgrade from certification from foundation to practitioner, and we are not a strategic proposal or any other ATO. We are not, but we are trying to stimulate and to help people to become practitioner by joining 4 evenings and talk about the PMBOK, talk about the exam, how does the certification work, how does the questions are being asked, said, what's coming up, and we have successes. There are some people, I'm not mistaken, we tried, our goal this year was 8, but I think we have 6 people who are upgrading from certification from foundation to practitioner. So that's in this time we are very happy with it. Yeah.
Totally. I think that point that you mentioned about the social Europe, nick of a time, within a week, we were able to close that, and then after that on, that face-to-face interaction has come down. It's the same, because I, being a sociable person myself, yes, I run podcasts, yes, I run webinars, but it's not the same.
No.
Next to somebody, having a coffee, having a chat is much better than having a virtual coffee with somebody.
Yeah, quite agree.
And similarly, certifications and stuff, I'm glad that the Netherlands chapter is doing its best to keep it going. Again, looks like we all have to live with this and then see how that goes through. But it's fascinating, Walter, with limited resources, with limited team. I think that 150 odd members that we have is a very thriving one, because Scribble Talk, I'll just give you the statistics which might interest you. The Scribble Talk, as you know, it's listened in like 69 countries now. But in the 69 country, the 5th most listened country is the Netherlands.
Hey.
So we have obviously US, which, because APMP origination and proposal industry being there as a thing from the 1980s. Obviously, it's number 1, then United Kingdom, then Germany, then India, and the Netherlands. I'm very surprised that every podcast that we do, even though you could be the 3rd guest from the Netherlands, we still have a very good following from the Netherlands. So that is something there for the Netherlands proposal community. I'm sure we can do something for them. But it's something that you could be proud of, Walter, for you and Hanneke and others, what you have created within the industry now. It's a very thriving community. So we talked about your early life, career, APMP and related parts. Before we get into the random rapid fire question round or Nutters round, because that was also Howard's last BPC. Months we lost Howard, so you might have some pleasant memories with Howard on that.
Oh yes. I've watched his last presentation and on metrics, and it was so good. I heard him before, but it was so good to hear him talk about metrics and how you can help metrics your bid and proposal process to become more uplifted and in better quality. So it was, I knew he was ill, and I knew it was his great desire to join the European BPC for the time, and we all know his health was very poor at that moment. Yeah.
So again, in Howard of Howard Nut, we call this the Nutters round or the rapid random fire question round. So before we go in, talk us through 3 things not many people know about you.
Oh, my guilty pleasures. Always dangerous, because now I know how many people are listening. Oh, now my guilty pleasures. Well, I do like to cook eventually, so sometimes, and I do like to make some kinds of pies, and also to cook for friends and share a dinner with them. That's more or less knowledgeable. But one of the things that I do to relax is, by example, I'm building a small wooden ships from historical models, and that's something I do enjoy, because working with wood and with small details, it takes all my energy and all my focus to that point. So I really relax and forget everything around me for a couple of hours. So it's very good, almost yoga kind of exercise for me to relax and to energize my spirit again. So that's one of the things I really that's not much known that I'm doing that, because it sounds like childish that you are building small boats or cars from scratch. And well, never mind. I'll gladly share it with you.
Wow, that's amazing. I think whenever, as I told you, my very close friend Chris, he's from Netherlands. I think whenever he says I'm from Netherlands, he's like, "Is it true that you could get cannabis from a coffee shop?" Will be the very first question that people know.
Oh yes, oh yes. Unfortunately, yes, it's true. It's true. Yeah, it's true. Yep. Yeah, the Netherlands have a very liberal climate of about cannabis. Yep, yep. And well, I'm not quite much enough knowledge to know if it's the good way or it's the wrong way. I've no opinion about it, but the only way I know is that well, I have no idea. I hope it will diminish any criminal activities because of legal and illegal substances. That's the only way I think about it. But we have a very liberal legislation about cannabis in the Netherlands. Yeah.
Yeah, totally. I think it was fascinating. I think when I went there, I was told that you could have 5 plants per home.
Yeah, yeah. I don't have them. No.
Listeners, is a place to visit, experience just once if you want to. But that's great. I mean, like, let's officially enter the random rapid fire questions round here. So is there any part of the world any place that you consider as your favorite place, Walter, other than Rotterdam, of course?
Oh yes, yes, yes. I've been to Ireland a couple of times with my wife, and it is such a beautiful country. It's really the green island, and the people of Ireland, especially the not in the cities, but on the east and on the south coast, are so kind and have so large idea of hospitality. It's a great place to go on holiday, because you can ride horse, you can fish, you can hike, you can play golf, you can enjoy good meals. It's not only peas and beans. No, there are very good restaurants. They have very good fish from the ocean and from the rivers, the salmon. But it's a great way to spend a couple of weeks hiking, enjoying the slow pace of communities, the rural communities. I really enjoyed it, because when I returned to the Netherlands, I thought, wow, everything in the Netherlands is so fast. So I won't use the word rat race, but it was so fast, and everybody was so seriously about going forward. And in Ireland, it was easygoing. And the Spanish mañana should also apply to Ireland. It's so easygoing. It's such a lovely place. Yeah, I do like to return to Ireland again. Yeah.
And again, one of the things about Dutch culture is straight talk. Boom, land the message that you want to land, straight. So again, do you have any memorable experiences of talking straight and then realize, oops, maybe I should not have said that?
Oh yes, 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 and the directness from the Netherlands, from the Dutch people speaking people, is it's sometimes you should be more laid back, more well, even with people from Belgium. It's only a couple of miles away from my home city, but Belgium or in the south of the Netherlands, people first want to have lunch with you and talk with you, and then you can come to business. Also, the Netherlands have a very, well, I'm not quite sure if I have to, well, why not? We sometimes have the directness to tell others how to do things, and that's something that's not good. That's not good. We should concentrate on our own faults and make them better, and not always look at others and judge them. It should be more well, yeah, less loud, to teach others how the world works. And that's something, yeah, I really experienced it. But that's in my context when I was working at an export and import company with Belgians and also with Germans, especially with English-speaking people from the UK. Our directness is a bluntness and is not always appreciated. No, we shouldn't be more laid back, more easy, more diplomatic. When we talk to people in different countries and cultures. That's something we really quickly seems to forget. Yep.
That's fascinating. I mean, like, as I told you, we have a very close community. I have personal lifelong friends in Netherlands. That's something which I look into as well, being coming from a culture myself. Sometimes we don't share our opinions at all. It's like, okay, that's been taken. If somebody tells you, just go and do it without sharing anything. Whereas in the other side, Netherlands, you share. It's a straight talk. Go do it. Believe in. So
sometimes it really helps to make a quick decision and go for it. So it sometimes helps, but sometimes with people from a different background, it's better to take more time for to understand each other and go forward.
Amazing. What I mean, like, it's definite. I think the culture is important. That's why even when we kind of do any training for others, when we look into the US versus UK to Netherlands versus India, it could be the same best practices, but it's not. As you rightly said, you're also being part of the association, right? The Ombudsman Public Contracting, OMA, and the best practices that you follow in Netherlands, not necessarily you can lift and drop to to other things over there. It comes with the straight culture.
No.
It's interesting. Okay, let's just move on. Let's just move on. What's that one thing you can't live without?
Oh, that's my early morning coffee. I do like to have my coffee in the morning, and I really enjoyed my cup of coffee in the morning, just sitting alone, or in the summertime in the garden at the break of day. That's something I really enjoy. That are the small moments that you are waking up, looking around, thinking about what's going to do, what I'm going to do today, what's are my goals today, what I really want to have succeeded, and then I'm drinking a cup of coffee, and I do like my coffee at the morning. Yeah, that's something I don't want to live without it. Nope.
Got it. So if you're being chased by a Godzilla, the monster,
yeah,
what do you do?
I'm not quite sure if I want to flight or fight. It is depending. Godzilla is for me is all the things that are threatening us, and I'm a kind of man that faces his devils, faces his demons, and go to the fight. and I rather lose a fight than walk away. And not physical, but that's how I'm looking at life. Everything you're afraid of, face the music, and it won't hurt you that much as you think it might. Just face the music. Yeah, never run away. Why? You don't want to be a fugitive. That's my idea about Godzilla. I think I will go, even if I lose, I will go into the fight.
Wow, what a powerful Godzilla deserves to have a worthy opponent in Wouter. So, do you have any favorite food? Is there anything that if you could only eat this food for the rest of your life, is it favorite food, Wouter?
Oh. I try to cut down on carbs because that's give extra weight. All the bread, the rice, and the pasta. I try to cut down, but there's a recipe from my wife's family that is a pasta with a very lovely sauce and a lovely veal that we don't want to eat it that much because I should not eat it that much and so often. But that's a dish I really enjoy. Yeah, that's something I really enjoy. It's a bit Italian, but not quite. But it's with if not mistaken, with veal and with a sauce of tomatoes and white wine and black olives, and it's marvelous. It's marvelous. I really enjoy that. Yep.
I can feel that passion that you have in the way you described. That's quite nice. So, what's that one personal trait that you really like about yourself, Wouter? You already shared that you are a person who goes head on and faces the challenges in life. But what's that one trait you say, Wouter, I'm so proud about you on this one?
I'm not quite sure I understand the question. Please.
I think everybody has a principle in life that they are really proud about, right?
Oh yes. There's one thing I really like to share, and I also try to teach my children, but also my father taught me, is that always be kind and nice to anybody. My dad said everything you will do to another will come back to you. So if you're doing wrong, it will come back to you. And if you're doing good, it will come back to you. And being nice doesn't cost anything. Be nice, because everybody deserves to be treated nice. If it's the caretaker or it's the lorry driver or anyone should be treated as you want to be treated. So be nice. That's something I really think it's unnecessary to be rude or ungracious. It's unnecessary. Why?
Totally. What a powerful statement, that one. I think so. If you're making a T-shirt that everybody should wear, what one word or two words that you think should be written in that?
Be nice.
Nice.
Be nice.
I know the answer. I thought I'll ask you, which is good. So, I mean, like, if you are writing an autobiography if you're writing an autobiography about your own life, what title would you give to your autobiography, Wouter?
Oh, there's one thing I'm still learning any day, and that's something my dad told me: listen, and observe. Listen, observe. I'm a quick talker. I'm a quick mind, quick on my feet. And I have to be conscious that I have to listen, keep my mouth shut. And that's something I'm learning any day, anytime. That's something for my biography. He learned to listen.
Nice. So what do you normally get when you go for grocery shopping?
Oh, grocery shopping. Normally I go for grocery shopping. Vegetables. I love vegetables. Vegetables in all kinds and in all ways to you can prepare. There are so many good recipes. There is I've got his name. I've got a cooking book with all kinds of recipes, with only vegetables. Also vegetables that are not in are very popular at the moment. What's his name? Oh, I've forgotten his name. Oh, it's vegetables. I love vegetables. Yeah.
Perfect. So, if you are, do you follow any sports, Walter?
Well, I try to, at the moment, everything is closed, but normally I do some fitness, and I also try to play golf, but golf is something I never took the time to be very good at golf, because when you can play a golf game, you miss about 3 to 4 hours from your family time, and family was and is very important for me. So I never took out in the weekends 4 hours for myself to play golf. So I like to play golf, but I'm not good at it, and I still only have to practice. But it's something I do like. And also in Ireland we played a lot of golf. But it's nice to be outside, walking. Sometimes when it's busy you have to hurry a bit, but normally it's easy going, walking, bit of talking, and then you have a lovely game outside. Yeah, this fitness and golf are, well, two things I do like to do in my spare time.
Thank you, Walter. Continue to do that. Walter, who are the people who have been the most influential in your life and career?
In my career, I already mentioned Janneke Orients and Richard Buys, but also John Williams. John Williams was strategic proposals in the UK. I joined a training from him from my certification for the foundation and also for practitioner in the old style. And John is a jolly good teacher. Lots of fun, typically English, cool humor. I think, and also when I'm reading his post on LinkedIn, always on the spot, very good craftsman. Yeah, I think I learned a lot of John in his way, how he works things and how he approach clients. So that's one of the in the business, one of the most exemplary people, I think, for me. Yeah.
And in life?
In life, yeah. Well, I already mentioned a couple of times my father, my dad. I learned a lot from him, and I'm trying to teach it to my children. And also, my wife was also an inspiration for me. She always encouraged me to changes, to grow, to go forward. Never stay long in one place because you think it's safe and it's nice. No, seek the adventure, seek your new development of new possibilities, but also new capabilities. So well, my wife was quite encouraging always, and says, you think you are not able to do that, but you can do that. Do that now. You shouldn't wait. Why wait? So that's my wife was very inspiration for me also to start my own business a couple of times now. Yeah, she always said, I can't say it in English because I'm not quite sure, but she once said when I came home and said, oh, well, I'm not enjoying my job anymore, and she said, if you stay and you are not going to change, I will get you in plaster as if you have broken your legs. So you have to go to a new job, and I will help seek you a new adventure. So my wife was quite powerful in supporting me. Yeah.
Wow. And my condolences to you as well for losing wife recently. What I know, it would have been tough. Wish you, your family, all the strength to come out of this, and yeah, and the listeners as well. So thank you. So obviously, while we were doing this podcast started during COVID period, and Is there any positive stories that you would like to share? Because what have you observed lately that reminded you people are kind? Any stories comes to you?
Oh, any stories? Well, what comes in mind for me is that because of the recent passing away from my wife, is how my friends, my family, also the APMP community supports me. I posted an memoriam from a good friend on LinkedIn, and there were, I think, 40,000 people read the memoriam, and I had about 400 or 500 reactions of people who were sending my condolences, and I had messages from Rick, from Peter Frank, from all kinds of people at the industry, but also in the street where I live. People are so kind. One of my neighbors brought me in one afternoon a meal for me and the two boys. Also, they are 20 and 24. So, but we really appreciated the way my family and friends are supporting us at this moment. So, I think basically people are good, and when they are not good, that's a momentum, or it's a flaw in time. Most people try to be good, and I'm feeling strengthened by the warmth of all the people I've met a couple of weeks ago, over a couple of months. Now we are trying to get our life back on track again. So yeah, I think people are good. Yeah, I experienced that.
Nice. As you said, Walter, I mean, like what goes around comes around, and your principles of being nice always, when at times of needs, people will come back to you on the same thing. Again, the Scribble talk is all about that sacrifice and that kindness. Again, you are an epitome of that overall thing, what we stand for, and who are the people we need to highlight.
I didn't had in mind the connection between those two at this moment, but now you're telling it me. Yes, there will be a connection. There will be a connection. There might be a connection. Yes. Yeah.
Totally, Walter. I think as it is, people remember the moments that you share. It's not about how long you know a person or how often do you meet a person. It's about at that time of need or something that you are, that 5 minute, 10 minute, how are you? Are you okay?
Yeah.
Means a lot to them, rather than to spend like every other day. I mean, like it depends, and that's how I realized what I found was is that, especially that LinkedIn post that you talked about when I was down with COVID. It's just a moment that was shared with a friend, and then the friend then shared. Then I realized how much love I have garnered, and success, as I always say, is about relationships. And in your case, you have all the blessings around you. So I'm so happy that you have these and continue to inspire. So let's continue the talk. So obviously, 1999, you started the proposal career. That's like 20, 22, 23 years now. And culturally, Netherlands have moved from in this 20 years, Netherlands might have moved from early days to how bids are being procured now. So what's the one common myth about the profession in the Netherlands that you would like to debunk, which is like,
that the myth that I want to debunk is that bid and proposal management is a sidekick, is something you can do along with another job, is something that is not that important and not that difficult. I think that's a wrong idea about bid and proposal management. It's really a craft. That's something that slowly starts to turn. We are now see in advertisements for bid and proposal management that they are seeking people with foundation certification. So it slowly starts to the industry is aware that bid and proposal management is not something you just do a couple of hours a week. No, it's a craft. It's a specialty. Yeah, and that's our mission, to get it any further, especially in the Netherlands. That bid and proposal management is a specialty, and well, yeah, well, it's not that easy to explain, but it reminds me always on the cartoon where a blue collar man with a hammer is hitting a machine and asking 1,001 pound because £1 for the hit and £1,000 because he knew where to hit it. And I think that is bit in proposal management also. It's a craft, it's a specialty. It's not that easy to have a good proposal. Prepare a good proposal.
What a message that one. So obviously you have seen a lot in your career, both as a teacher and also as an entrepreneur, self-employed, and also as a proposal professional, also chairman of APMP NL and the other roles that you have taken. What's one advice would you give bid and proposal professionals in the industry?
Try to bridge, try to connect, especially with the other side. There's a myth that sellers only want to have high profits and buyers want to pay as less as possible. No, try to find what is the best product for you for a reasonable price with a reasonable profit for me, but when you have a product that is perfectly for your purposes. So I think that one of the things you should try to strive is make connection with the other side, and don't get into a dual thinking about them and us. No, try to avoid that.
What a powerful way. I mean, like, that's together is what's going to help us to come out of this COVID crisis. It's never against them, against us.
No.
Together, collectively, everybody is putting their mind, heart to solve the society's problem. Yes, as you rightly said, people are people, and for various reasons, they procure services differently. But behind the scenes, there is always, as you said, kind-hearted leaders who want to do the best for the community. Very nice closure, Wouter. So, Wouter, is there anything, what's next for you, Wouter? What are you looking forward to in the future?
Although I'm 63, I still will go on. I will try to become my certification for professional by APMP, because I want to become one of the 15 or 20 that we have in the Netherlands. So that's one thing that's on my list. And also my eldest son is hopefully finishing his study in a couple of, well, in the next year, and I'm dreaming that he will follow in my footsteps and also become a bid and proposal specialist. But that's something I'm not quite sure if he wants to yet. But I love to have him to work together with him. I really like that's something of a dream. Yeah, to have a family business.
Definitely, why not? So we have talked about in length about your life, career, APMP, as I told you, everything. Is there any part that we missed about that you would like to share in the last minute or two, Wouter, or anything else you would like to share to the listeners?
No, I think that's one of the things we struggle with in the Netherlands, but also in Europe, is that associations as we had in the past, where people were emotional evolved, is starkly diminishing, and we see a membership where they are looking for the advantages, but have not the emotional binding with the association, and that's something I really like, and that's one of the things we will talk about with Tony Round, with the other European chapter leaders, from how can we engage our members with our association, because we are experiencing that it's slowly diminishing. Why, we do not understand quite well, but it's something in Europe probably the rest of the world also, but the people are less emotional involved with an association. They're more at their own, and that's something. That's something that worries me, because that's threatening for the future for APMP.
Very, very powerful message there, Wouter. But thank you for sharing that. Absolute privilege and pleasure to have you at Scribble Talk. Wish you, your family, everybody, all the good health. My condolences again. Come out strong, stay healthy, stay happy, continue to inspire everybody. And I'll speak to you very soon, Walter. Take good care. Happy New Year.
Okay, same to you. Happy New Year. And also for you, stay healthy and enjoy life and enjoy.
Thank you, Walter. Thank you so much.
To our listeners, thank you so much for tuning in. Please visit batchyscribble.com/podcast to listen to this episode and check out any of our other previously recorded episodes. If you've enjoyed today's interview, don't forget to subscribe, review, and share the Scribble Talk podcast. We hope you'll check out our next episode where we interview another industry expert and special guest. Until then, it's Ashley Case,
Bhaskar Sundaram,
signing off.